Hey everybody, Kelly Orchard here with Felicia Petersen of what's your
New
company?
American Funding.
New American Funding. Now, yes. Felicia and I met a while ago at a chamber function.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to say once again, it's like getting involved in your community really helps you meet people. So. But I'm thrilled to have you here for Mustang Monday.
I'm excited.
I'm Kelly Orchard, the badass certifier. Sometimes I forget to say that, but I think by now people know that about me. So
kinda.
Yeah.
You weren't even at lunch with friends, and we.
Oh really?
We were talking about it.
Oh, that's very cool. So my badass stuff precedes me.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I do love to get up in some of the lunches and just say, if you put the word badass in front of anything that you're describing about yourself, it changes your whole perspective and everybody else's perspective about you.
Yes.
And so I want you out there to try that today. Just say, I'm so-and-so and I am a badass, and then whatever you do for a living. So you used to try it. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Felicia Petersen, and I'm a badass loan officer.
There you go. See?
I love it.
Isn't that great? It's perfect. All right, and we're going to get you certified badass pretty soon, right?
Yes,
right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad to have you sitting in the seat today to give a badass tip from the street.
I'm excited to be in the Mustang.
Yeah.
I'm a car girl.
Yeah. So what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I think I want to talk about being your authentic self.
I love it.
I started in the mortgage industry I had a short stint in the mortgage industry in 1994, and then I stayed in it from 97 till now.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yes, it is. And I started, I spent 15 years on the admin and HR side, and then I went into sales. And I think I forgot that I needed to be my authentic self. I think I spent a lot of years being what I thought I needed to be a salesperson.
Okay. Well, let's kind of back it up a little bit. So you spent 15 years in the back office, so to speak. Yeah. I mean, no, really, you were in the back office.
Yes, and hiring and all that fun stuff.
So you were doing the hiring and all the HR, so the payroll and
all the fun
whatever
stuff.
Insurances and what have you else. Did your role also include like the commissions and stuff like that? Right. Yeah. So in essence, then you got a really great education on what it's like to be a lender.
Yes.
But then what caused you to decide to make that transition from being the back office to being sales? Because I think that's really critical. Not a lot of people would think to do that.
Yeah. Well, my boss, the owner of the company, and I will mention his name, Ed Hoffman, was amazing, and he pretty much...
Is he still around?
Oh, yeah.
In this town?
He's in Moreno Valley.
Okay. Well, you've called him out, and we've come up with a thing where now it's like Mustang Monday hot potato. So now you got to reach out to him and say, Kelly has to come and do a Mustang Monday with you now. Ed Hoffman. So anyway, go on.
But he always told me I could do sales, and I was like, no, I'm never going to do sales. I'm not going to do commission only. I've got 3 kids. I'm married. I'm the primary, breadwinner, and I can't do that. And I said, I can't do sales, I can't sell anything. And he would laugh at me, and he goes, yes, you can, you'd be great. And he goes, how many payroll companies did you interview? And which one did we pick because you wanted them?
Right.
He goes, you sold me.
You sold me.
So,
and that's the truth. It's like sales is basically you've got to have a passion for what your product is. Yeah. And then it's a matter of being persistent.
Yes.
And then finding the right person.
Yes.
Who wants what you have to offer.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it. It's that simple. It really is.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to sell you, an underwater basket that I weaved.
Yes.
And you don't want a basket that I weaved underwater. It's like, it doesn't matter how great of a salesperson I am. You don't want that.
No.
So, okay.
So I turned 40 about the same time my third and last child was graduating high school. And I looked at my husband and I said, it's about time. There had been some changes at the office that were encouraging me to make a move. And I think that was a positive thing. I was ready for some change. I was, turning 40, and I think change is good.
Yeah. Well, you were about, like you said, your last one was graduating high school.
Yeah.
So you were about to be an empty nester?
Oh, yeah.
At 40, that's a young age.
Yeah, that was
really
brutal. Well, I started
really early.
I did start really early. And when I was 20, I was on my second husband.
Oh, husband.
And
okay.
I had a 1-year-old and he had a 4-year-old.
Okay.
My 4-year-old stepdaughter is now 31.
Okay.
And then I have a almost 29-year-old and a 24-year-old. So, Yeah, I started early.
Yeah. Okay, so you were 40 and you were ready to make a career shift.
Yes,
you wanted
absolutely.
something different.
And
so you got into sales. So Ed Hoffman, there he is again, encouraged you into sales. So you went ahead and did it. But the thing was that you said you told me earlier, it's like the authenticity of it is that you tried to be what you thought you were supposed to be.
Correct.
Rather than Felicia.
Correct.
So
and I did that for a long time.
And that's a really good point to make. So what did you think you were supposed to be?
I don't know. I read so many books that were recommended, all the sales books, and
Dress the part.
Well, dress the part, which I didn't have a problem with that. That was easy.
Well, I kind of do. I got rid of
because
it's like I don't really like pantyhose and heels.
Oh yeah, no, I don't do any of that.
Dress the part.
I don't do any of that.
Dress the part of a radio personality.
Yeah, but I don't do casual Friday too often. I mean, if you see me in a t-shirt and jeans, that's a rare moment. So I don't do that anymore because you just never know who you're going to see. I usually have my name badge on so people know what I do.
Okay.
I introduce myself to pretty much everybody.
Okay.
I try to talk to everybody, try to smile at everybody.
Now, are you naturally extroverted, or is that even...
I used to be.
Introverted. You used to be introverted.
No, I was extrovert, and now I'm an introvert, and I have no idea why.
I'll tell you later, but that's not a Mustang Monday.
Yeah.
I can share with you why.
I kind of got weird.
Well, it has to do with, I think it has a lot to do with experiences and other interactions and age and all the trust factors you kind of like internalize now. You a little bit. Okay.
So I think maybe I got intimidated a little bit by all the books I was reading about how to be successful in sales.
There is a time where you can have too much information.
Being super aggressive, which I've never been super aggressive. I mean, there's parts of my life where I can be.
So the sales books that you were reading were teaching you to be aggressive, and that's not authentic to you.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not.
So what's your style now? What's your authentic style?
Just being more natural, being just me. I'm a very empathetic person, and I think that kind of focusing more on that and understanding and listening to other people and their needs and understanding where they're coming from and what they need in this process. Probably my favorite home buyer is either a first-time home buyer that they're like your kids. I found as I entered into sales, a lot of these loan applications were the same age as my kids, and I treated them as mine. And I wanted to take care of them as they were mine. Like, I don't want to do anything that's going to harm their future. I want to help better their future. I don't want them overbuying. I don't want them overpaying.
Getting themselves into a payment that
they can't afford.
Even though they've qualified for this loan amount, do you really want that mortgage payment?
Yeah. Or in explaining.
That's a big one right there, especially those first-time buyers.
Well, and then everything they see online, some of it is so misleading. Well, I saw the payment was only $1,299 at, a $400,000 loan. And I'm like, no, honey, that's just principal and interest. So it was just kind of a thing where I really just wanted to take care of people. And then also people that were kind of going through the same thing I was. The empty nesters, the kids are gone. You don't need the big house anymore. You need to downsize. Or they had kind of their starter home still for whatever reasons, because finances are tough when you're raising kids, and now they want a big home for their family and for their grandkids, and just that change. So that's how you tapped into your authentic self, is to find people like you. Yes.
And I bet what happened was once you flipped that.
Oh yeah.
That all of a sudden the business started picking up.
Absolutely.
Because there's like this resistance is that you weren't being authentic, so you weren't being who you were, and people can actually sense that. They sense it perspective wise.
Yeah, and I think I've had a few different people tell me, just be you. Don't try to do anything else. Just be you, because that's what people are drawn to. So I like to think I'm a likable person.
So when did you discover that this was beneficial for you? Because you've been on the sales side for how long now?
It's about 6.5 years almost.
6.5 years. And so you said that when you first started, you were being more aggressive than you were comfortable with.
Yes.
Among other things, probably.
Oh yeah.
So when did you realize this isn't for me, and you put the books away?
Probably about a year ago.
Okay, so for 5.5 years, you struggled with not being authentic. I think that's also really critical to point out too, is that it doesn't matter when you decide that you're going to make that shift. Don't give up on the career or the passion or the job. Just maybe all you need to do is tap into who you really are.
Well, and that's the thing, is there's been several times along this journey that I've had where I have considered either getting back into the HR and admin,
going back into the back office,
or trying to figure out another career, and it's put me in such a huge depression.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to do that. I love what I do.
I love helping people get into homes.
I do
right?
love to do that.
Yes.
And I feel like I'm going to die doing this.
Okay.
And not because it's going to kill me, because it's a stressful job.
It can. I used to tell people this, it's like to tag team with a lender. And it's like, okay, so she can help you get into the home. And then I'm a psychotherapist. If you don't qualify for the loan, that's when you come to me for the mental health help. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry that but that's not it. Your job is to get people financed for their home.
Exactly.
And you finding that you have a certain niche that you like to work with.
Yes.
And that's probably who you speak with mostly to now.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So do you have a different tagline now that you've started than you were before?
No, my tagline for, probably 5 years, my tagline has been putting a touch on the American dream.
Okay.
Putting a personal touch on the American dream. Boy, that was hard to remember.
Yeah.
And that's what I do, is I've put a personal touch on the American dream. The catch is, I intended to previously, but I wasn't. I was putting the salesperson touch on it, which I needed to put my personal touch on it.
Yeah.
And so it kind of started with just this message that I kept getting about change and comfort zone, and I kept getting it every single day. I mean, from a billboard to
even a conversation with me at lunch.
A conversation with you at lunch.
Which is kind of why we're here, is because we've talked about doing this, and you sort of were hesitant in a way.
I was.
And dragging your feet. You knew you wanted to, but and I'm kind of like, I'm a freight train. When I'm going, I'm going. It's like, hop on or get out of my way. And so we happened to sit at lunch a couple of weeks ago.
Correct.
And you had sent me a couple of emails in response to the Mustang Mondays.
Because I love them.
Yes, thank you. And one of them you said, if I were to do a Mustang Monday, and I knew right then and there that's the sales pitch. That's the buying signal right there. And so I was like, okay, what are you going to do about it? And then we sat together at lunch, and it was a matter of no longer saying you're going to get out of the comfort zone. It was doing it and making and then we had to make the appointment.
Yeah, and I just whipped out my calendar book, and there we did it.
We did, and there we did it.
And so I think a mentor is key.
Always be learning.
Definitely.
Step out of your comfort zone. And be authentic self.
Absolutely.
Those are 3 great tips from Felicia Petersen from what mortgage?
New American Funding.
New American Funding.
And if you're going to show up, be excellent. We talked about that.
Yes, we did.
That's my last tip. You're showing up, be excellent.
So I am Kelly Orchard, and this is Mustang Monday, and we are going to remind you, we're going to repeat it with me, to be bold, be brave, be confident, be badass.